Oh my word, welcome to my channel. I was doing some talking, and next thing I know, my screen pops back to the home screen of my phone. I'm like, I didn't even turn on the camera. So, if I sound a little funny, I think I got a sinus infection. I ain't been around nobody with, the Rona. I don't socialize. I don't go places. I only see people if I'm out in public, and if I'm in stores, I wear my mask. The only person we hadn't wore a mask around was when we were at the restaurant this weekend, and it was just like the waitress that seated us, and then the one who brought our food and our tea. And she wasn't in our face. She just set our plates down, walked off, and poured our tea and walked off, and then she rang us up. So I don't think that I got, the dreaded thing. I think I just got a sinus infection like David had, a couple months ago, that he kept coughing for, gosh, I don't know how long he coughed. Y'all remember, he couldn't even do a tag. He coughed so much. So we got some Mucinex. When I started to get just a little bit of one, right after he did, and it went right away, I bought some Mucinex just in case, and so I took one of them this morning. It started a couple days ago, just draining down the back of my throat, and then it makes it irritated, and then this morning I wake up and my head's just full. So I think that's all it is. If I get a fever or anything like that, I'll call the doctor. Otherwise, I'm diagnosing it as a sinus infection. But I got this here sore coming up because I get cold sores. Listen, I used to get cold sores all the time. I guess because I stayed tore up all the time. I know that sounds terrible, but when I get upset or tore up about something, boom, here comes the cold sore. Well, I don't know if this is from yesterday. I kind of had a rough day yesterday. We'll talk about that too. I don't know if it's from that or if it's from this head cold. I don't know, but it reminds. We'll get to the weigh-in a minute. I'm going to tell you this story. It reminded me, I can't remember if Holly was born or if she wasn't born. It was that long ago. I got a cold sore. They took up I kid you not. It blowed up my whole top lip. I went to the doctor. I wouldn't let nobody see it. It looked like Botox gone wrong. I am not even joking. I am not joking when I tell you this whole top lip was blowed out as big as the skin I think could stretch. So I checked in like this. I sat in the waiting room like this. I did not move my hand until I got in there. The doctor was like, whoa. Even the doctor couldn't get over how big it was. So he gave me some medicine and it eventually went down. But oh my gosh, the scab that took forever to go off. So I think maybe that's what that little sore thing popping up is. Let's get to let me get a sip of coffee. Got my Flair's mom. I made it. John made me one originally, and it got broke. I'm not going to say the word David. It got broke. And so I liked it so good, after I got my Cricket, I made me one for myself. But she was the original one. But my weigh-in, let's do that. Let me find it. My eyes are full of snot. So I weighed in at 319.8 for a loss of 5.8, and that puts me at 57.3. Now, you know what that tells me? And I ain't trying to jinx it, but that tells me that no, my one meal out is not going to ruin the progress I make during the week. I get my weeklies, so I can get that. Well, I know I went over them, because if y'all seen my what I ate in a day video last night, y'all know I had a bad day on plane yesterday. I just had a bad day yesterday. It was a good day, but a bad day. And then Sunday, I had, like, I didn't go off the rails, but I had like normal people food. Like I had a bowl of tomato soup with crackers, and I like crackers in my soup. I don't like two on the side. I like a handful crumbled up in it. That's how I like my soup. That's a comfort food. So we had that, and I can't remember. We didn't eat out. We made whatever it was at home. I can't remember what. But I was telling David last night when we was sitting there eating, I said, that tells me, because I weighed yesterday. I said I was not going to weigh every day, and I have not been weighing every day. But I do weigh the day before weigh-in, because I just like to see if it sticks. And it's stuck. It's better. It's stuck. My belly is growling. Talking about food, it is hungry. So I don't think, well, it's like my old doctor told me, one meal ain't making you fat. So I don't think one meal, or even not a whole weekend. It was not even a whole weekend. If I would track, I would know how close to my points I was. I would know. But I've not been tracking. And I know I've got to get better at that. So staying on plan during the week helps combat what happens on the weekend. Now, yesterday, I'm going to tell you what. I got in here in the craft room. Well, the first thing I ate off plan was that fried chicken from Harris Teeter, and I didn't think it was too bad. That was going to be the only thing that messed up during the day. Well, I got in here in the craft room. I don't know if y'all can see. I got a lot of stuff reorganized and moved around and situated. I got a big tub I had bought at Walmart with my grocery order that on the screen it looked like that big. In real life you can hide a body in it. So I put like my wooden things, my wooden signs, and my picture frames, and my little wooden things that you get, that you do, and I'm going to store that out in the building. It's just taking up room in here, and I'm not doing those at this moment, and I know exactly where to go get them if I need them. So I was able to spread out some of this other stuff and feel a little bit lighter in here. I mean, I still got my crap on the walls and all that. That's not going nowhere. So I put some of it over here on my bulletin board. I mean, I'm not changing that stuff around, but as far as being able to get to my stuff, I'm able to get to it better. Well, I worked too hard. I pushed it too hard. I don't have the physical ability that I used to have, and so much arthritis. Listen, my body's no good. And so I felt like somebody took me down to the squeaky clean and run me through that big old tumble dry. I felt terrible. That's why we ordered out last night. I did not have the energy or the physical capability to stand over that stove and cook a recipe. I couldn't force myself to do it. That's how bad I felt. Well, I get up this morning and oh my gosh, it feels like somebody took me back down to the squeaky clean this morning, run me again just to make sure the wrinkles was out, and then when they got me out, they beat my legs with a ball bat. My knees. Feels like my knees been beat with a ball bat. I ain't trying to be all whiny about it. I'm just telling you the situation as it exists, and that is my current situation. I feel like you know what on a stick. Fill in the blank. So, but I love my room. I love my craft room. Now let me tell you what happened yesterday. It was so funny yesterday morning. I can't remember what I was doing. I got in my kitchen. Here's my sink, and to the left is a Lazy Susan on the bottom and a Lazy Susan on the top. Well, the top has all my spices that don't fit over here in this cabinet, and the oils and the vinegars and the molasses and the cocoa powder, all that kind of stuff. So that's what's up top. Well, what's down bottom? Cleaning supplies, some bowls, some Swiffer pads, stuff like that don't really have a home, except for that's their home. That's just where all that odd stuff goes. Well, I was getting something out, and I heard boom, boom. I'm like, what has fell off on the back, and what I ain't gonna be able to get to because I can't squat down there. So I got the flashlight on my phone and held it back in the corner to see if I could see anything. It was a bottle of salad dressing. I'm like, salad dressing? Okay, so we got that kitchen finally put back together. I don't think, it wasn't 2009, it was 2010. We were out of the house like a year working on it. Because, I mean, when you pay as you go, it ain't like somebody just dropped down and dumped the money on your head. So you pay as you go, and you do as you do. And David, he was working on it while he was working his full-time job, because he did pretty much everything himself. There's only a few things he couldn't do. He even jacked the house up himself, because the seals out from under the, back here in this room, the wall I'm looking at, that's the wall where there's two windows right there. That's the wall where the seal underneath was rotted out. So to get the seal replaced, he had to jack the house up. Well, if you call the house jack people, they can charge you. I bet they would have charged us $10,000 to jack this house up. And he studied on that thing, and he studied on that thing. He got some cement blocks, some bottle jacks, like a plank. He put it over there. I got a picture of it in our home remodel book. I don't know how he thought of it, how he did it, but it worked. He bottle jacked the wall of that house up, pulled out that rotted seal, put in a whole brand. Listen, there ain't nothing that man can't do if he puts his mind to it. He's one of these, he don't like to pay somebody if it's something he can do himself. And if he don't know how to do it, you better bet your bottom dollar he gonna learn how to do it. He will watch YouTube videos and read articles till the cows come home, until he feels comfortable enough that he knows what he can do. Anyway, he didn't find that on no YouTube video. He come up that himself. He studied on that. Where was I? Oh, so 2010 is when I got that kitchen put back together, because the house was gutted all the way to the studs on the outside wall. That brick on the outside was there, and the wall studs on the inside. The concrete supports inside, the floor, the ceiling, everything. There was rafters and wall studs, and that was it. You walk to the door out here, and you look, and it's just a big dirt. That's all it was, because there was so much water damage. And we built this house from the floor up, except for the exterior. So anyway, we lived here. We lived in the big room. In case you're new, the big room is what we always call the built-in carport, because it's the whole width of the house, and it's the good-sized carport. So even when Mama lived here, we just called it the big room. Well, it's not finished right now. We had plans many years before this to get around to fixing it. It just had, hold on a minute, let me wipe my nose. Okay, felt like there was a runaway train or something. So we have had every intention to fixing the big room back. But he wants to see the way it was built. And when Mama had it, was they just put the concrete supports on the carport, the slab. He don't want that. He wants to dig the slab up, and I'll tell you what, I am a nervous wreck that he's going to bump the back end of that Bobcat into the side of the house and knock the corner support out. The roof's going to go flying. I have got nightmares about it. Y'all just don't know, because I told y'all know he rough as a calm. He rough as a calm. So when we rented an apartment, and then we moved out of there because they had gang graffiti. I got up one morning, and it wasn't in a bad part of town. I got up one morning and I looked out on the parking lot, And on the side of the building, it was like apartments, how they're like staggered here, and then they come out here, and then they come out here, and they come out here. When they come out that one place that had it, and I called the landlord, and I told him, I said, look, I don't feel safe here. I need to break this lease, and I do not want to be charged for breaking this lease. And sure enough, they let us break it. And so we found a house, and we rented the house. We was probably out of this house for a year. Well, it got to where we were spending so much money renting somewhere to live that money we could have been spending on the house. So we said, okay. And RJ was home. RJ had moved back home from Kentucky. He was living in Kentucky. So we're like, okay, we'll stay in the big room. Listen, the big room's probably 450, 500 square feet. All four of us, we had our beds in there. And of course, RJ had his computer. Holly didn't have a computer at that time. And then we had a TV. RJ. David had the the power company built him a construction outlet, whatever they call it. And it's got a name. So we could at least pull some electricity up into that little room. It was the middle of summer, hotter than Hades. No air conditioning. We're all crammed up on each other. We can't cook. Eventually, my brother gave me a little refrigerator, and that's the one that just died. I've had it ever since. That's the one that just died on me. Every morning, there's a little restaurant. It's something different now. A little restaurant across from the corner store, just 2 blocks up, right past the school. And every morning, me and Holly would get up and go up there, because we had a bathroom. I ain't going to tell you how we set it up in the garage, but we had we had something to make do. But the first thing we would do, we would get up in the morning, go up there, use their bathroom, and I would get my coffee, because y'all know I got to have my coffee in the morning. Then when they finally got this, the main house, and we was down there for, that was summertime, and we was down there for probably close to December, if not December, because I was washing dishes outside. I had a whole setup outside with the hose pipe, and we had a car cover. My brother gave me that. He wasn't using. We had that because we had a patio out there at the time, so we had it set up on the patio, and I had it where I could wash my dishes. And what I would do was, well, they got the thing in here, the house sheetrocked, got all that put up, the floor and everything. Well, we couldn't move up here. It wasn't ready to move up here. We still had to get the electricity put on, the air conditioner put back in, because the whole unit was taken out. We had to get that put back in. That was we had a big fight with that company. Listen, I was up at work one day, and that man started telling me all these things, and I started yelling at him, and my best friend looked over at me. He's like, oh. It just came out. Luckily, it was just me and him in the room, in the office. So when we got the room, we got it fixed up here, and then we got electricity. We still don't have the air conditioner. The room over here, this our bedroom, we set up as a makeshift kitchen. I had found at the Value Village this little old convection oven, before convection ovens were even popular, I think. It was just a little thing like this, and whatever we could heat up, frozen dinners or skinny meatballs in the can, soup, whatever we could heat up in that little convection oven, that's what we ate, because we were eating out. When we were down in that big room, we were eating out every single meal. I kid you not. We spent a fortune on food, but we didn't have no other way to do it at that time. So we got that little kitchen, but I still didn't have running water up here. Eventually got my little toilet, got that in there. Didn't have no running water to the sinks because my kitchen wasn't put in yet. Well, then he got my cabinets put in, and he brought my stove back. So then at least I could use the stove, but I still didn't have running water. So I had to do all my running water except in the toilet, which I put my foot down. I'm like, you better get me your toilet. these are things I'm not doing anymore. Get me a toilet. So he did. I had to go out forever and wash all my stuff outside with the hose pipe. So when I got my stove, I was able to boil me some water and carry it out there. Listen, I'm going to tell you what. I live like the pioneer days. You want to talk to the pioneer woman, she ain't got nothing on me. She ain't no kind of pioneer woman. She live out on a ranch, but she got everything fancy. I have nothing. I'm going to tell you what. I have lived rough in my life. Y'all, listen. Where was I going with this? Oh, boy, you talking about going around the elbow to get back to your thumb. So when I first got back into my kitchen, the bottom Lazy Susan, I had food in it. Things like salad dressing and mayonnaise jars, condiments, boxes, things like that. And it did not take me long where I didn't want that down there. I wanted it my cleaning and the stuff I told you that is there now. So that bottle had to have fallen off in like circa 2011, 2010. I got my little grabby thing. You know those little things that you squeeze and at the end they grab? Well, I got one of them I keep up on my refrigerator. So I got back in there with my light and my grabby thing and I pulled it up there where I could get it. It was a bottle of Kraft Zesty Italian. And I used to use that in my pasta salad. I can't use it anymore because it is too much of a bite on my mouth. Because y'all know I can't eat that spicy stuff. It hurts. Well, I turned around. I was like, oh, I cannot wait to see the expiration on this. The expiration was October of 2013. Now, you tell me how between 2010, 2011 till now, let's say 10 years, how has that been laying back in there for 10 years and nothing has ever touched it, moved it, made a sound or nothing, and I still don't know what touched it yesterday. It sounded like something fell off the shelf. I don't know what hit it and drug it around, but there it was 10 years later. Boom. Oh, speaking of, oh my God. I found my little paper when I was cleaning up yesterday. I had a little plastic bin down here that when I cut stuff out of magazines, like I have my Halloween folder, my Christmas folder, different folders like that I put the stuff in. Well, I wanted to change it because I got some open drawers over here. I wanted to change it and get it out from under here. And when I pulled them file folders out, there was my paper. So the goobers didn't get it after all. Well, the goobers put it down in there. I'll tell you that much. I don't know how it flew over and went down there. I really don't. So I found that. So let me tell you this, and then we'll go. If you watched our tag, there was that question: do you see the glass half empty or half full? And y'all know my answer before I answered. It was going to be half empty because I'm a pessimist and I can't help it. I just am. And Dave was like, oh, half full. And of course I knew it was going to be because he's Mr. Positive. Well, some of y'all were commenting on that question. I just want to tell you, sometimes I just want him to waller with me. I just want him to waller with me. And he won't do it. He will not do it. He's like, well, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, no. I'm this way. You're supposed to be this way. No. He just won't do it. Every now and then, something will get on him or something will happen and he'll make a comment. But boy, when he does, that is like a unicorn. It just don't happen. You just don't see that very often. So, yeah. He tries to keep me positive, and I try to keep him negative. I don't really, but sometimes I want somebody to commiserate with me. If I'm like some kind of way, he'll just be like, I know. If I say, this here makes me mad, I know. He won't get mad about it too. I'm like, if I'm mad about it, you're supposed to be mad about it. He won't do it. He won't do it. Ain't that something? He won't get negative with me. Thing is, I don't get positive with him, because every time I get positive about something, it just hits me in the face. So I figure if you don't expect nothing, when you don't get it, you're not tore up about it because you weren't expecting it to begin with. That's just how I've always been. I can't help it. I'm not a positive person. And you would think somebody that laughs at everything, but we have talked about that too, laughing. And I've discussed it with my psychiatrist. It's a coping mechanism when you laugh at everything, and it's common. A lot of people do it. I have, and oh my gosh, this is terrible. When I get nervous, I used to be a whole lot more worse about it. I've laughed at weddings. I've laughed at funerals. Not like, ha ha, like I get on here with y'all, but like get giggly. And I try to stop myself. I've laughed in church. When I get nervous, or I don't know, it's just, that's terrible. That's terrible. But I ain't like that much no more. I guess because I don't go nowhere. So I ain't got nowhere to, I ain't got nowhere to test it. But everything, I just laugh everything off. Which, I am a happy-go-lucky person who's negative. That don't even make sense. So, I guess we shall leave you at that. What did I tell you? I lost 5.8. Did I tell you what it brought me to? It brought me to 57.3. Did I tell you that part? I'm not going to say how close I am getting to 60 because jinx. So that'll be wrapping it up for me today. I think I done told y'all enough. Oh yeah, listen, Susie, you've had plenty of time to walk on your treadmill with this one. Oh, listen, let me tell you this. We're supposed to get some kind of winter weather. I ain't watched the news to hear them say exactly what, but it's coming in, I think, Sunday. That's what it looks like to me this weekend, but it looks like Sunday. So I don't know. It'll probably be our luck. It'll be ice. That's just what we get all the time is ice. We don't always get the pretty snow. We didn't get anything last year. We didn't get anything last year to even talk about. We got a dust and the snow that just went, and that was that. So I don't know what we're going to get this weekend, but I didn't get no whole milk at the grocery store if it does snow to make no snow cream, and I'm pretty upset about that because snow cream with skim milk just ain't the same. And a lot of you, when I do mention snow cream, you say, what is snow cream? I'm going to tell you what snow cream is. If you live somewhere where you got snow all the time, you better make your snow cream. Now, don't make it all the time, because if you're on a weight loss journey, you can't be affording to eat it all the time because it got sugar in it. You can try it with some fake sugar, but not this old girl. I didn't get none last year. I don't know if I got any the year before. I can't remember. You get you a whole lot more snow than what you think you're going to need. I use these big bowls, and I set them out, and I just let where no snow on it, and I just let it fill the bowl up all the way. And when the bowl's filled up, you take it and you pour the milk on it, and you just stir it, and it's not like ice cream. It's kind of soupy, don't pour too much of milk at a time. Just pour a little bit, and as you add a little bit more to it, it'll get a little bit more loose. And then you add sugar to taste and vanilla flavor to taste, and that is all there is to it. And oh my gosh, you can eat a gut full of that stuff. So if you're somewhere where there is snow, I want you to make you some snow cream. You might not get it right the first time, but once you figure out your little system, go out there and get you some more stuff. Now, if it's only like one or two, well, I used to get them big bowls when the kids was home. Of course, with me and David, I get them big bowls too. Just how much ever you want to make, it's going to shrink down. Like this big old bowl will shrink down to like this much snow cream because that snow is just real fluffy. So the milk just, sucks it down. So that is what snow cream is, just in case you don't know. It is one of the reasons why people down here in the South think, oh, you got to get milk and bread. What you going to do, make milk sandwiches? No. We're going to make bologna sandwiches In case the power goes out from the ice knocking the tree limbs on the power lines, we're going to make bologna sandwiches, and we're going to make snow cream with our milk. So that is why we got to have them two things. And if you don't eat bologna, well, you will eat some kind of sandwich, because chances are you're not going to have no power. Which, we got us a generator. We ain't had to use it yet, but we got it just in case we do have to use it. So anyway, I think that's all we're going to talk about today. I think that'll be enough. So I don't know when I'll see you next. I really don't. Maybe what I ate today. I don't know. Listen, that one from yesterday, I told you. You want to see the real me? You seen the real me on that one. There was no sense. I told you on my grocery pickup I was going to do one, and so there was no sense to lie about it. Here's what I eat. You know, it was one of those days. Hopefully today, even though I physically feel bad, I don't mentally feel bad. Yesterday I was really bad. That's what I was saying to you. I got upset. I got upset because I couldn't do what I used to could do, and it bothered me. It bothers me. It bothers me right now as I'm speaking to you that I am not the woman I used to be. I told David last night, I said, who sings that song? I'm too young to feel this damn old. He said, Garth Brooks. I'm like, Garth had it. That's how I feel. I'm just too young to feel this old. So that might be why that's coming up, because I was upset about it. And physically, my body was physically upset. And today is, listen, as long as I've been sitting here talking to you, it's going to be all I can do to get up off this chair. So I'll have to get up and stretch, but then I'll come in. Let me show you how much. Look how much I've done in my book. And that's all I got left. I have 2 of these books on order from Michael's. I wanted a different kind, but they didn't have it. So I went back to that one because I know it opens up. Of course, the more you get on this side, the harder it is to open up on this side. But they had it, buy one, get one 50% off. So that kind of paid, and the 20% off coupon, that kind of paid for my shipping. So they didn't have them in the store over at Concord Mills because I checked. So I was going to have to order them anyway, so might as well get them on sale. So that's why I've got 2 of them coming. Every single time. Okay. Well, my Criminal Minds went off. I've been watching it back here since about, I don't know. I was up at 3:30, and I come back here. It asked me, was I still watching? Don't that aggravate y'all? Are you still watching? Well, did I turn the TV off? Then I guess I'm still watching. What? I'll tell David, what's it to Netflix if I'm still watching or not? What is it to them? What is it to them? So while I was sitting here talking to you, it come up and asked me, was I still watching? And I was not able to tell it that I was still watching. I just finished up season 1 again. Because y'all know I started over and over and over. I watch it until Elle leaves. And then 9 times out of 10, I start it back over. Because those are my favorite seasons. The season 1 and part of 2 that she was in. Sometimes I'll watch it through till Gideon leaves. It just depends. But I watch it more on Netflix, and then the other seasons I watch on TV instead of Netflix. Now, I did start it at one of the older seasons. I don't like that season when Spencer goes to jail down there in Mexico. That tears me up. That tears my nerves up. I can't hardly watch it. So I don't get all up in them old ones too much. That's why I don't know them as good as I know these younger ones. You know what I'm talking about, the older ones. I know the older ones better than I know the newer ones. Okay, I'm going to shut my mouth, because every time I think I'm going to shut my mouth, I think of something else to say. So I don't know when I'm going to see you next. So how about I'll just see you when I see you.